Good morning, beautiful souls. Micah here with Miracle Healing and Coaching. And today I'm bringing you a new episode of Intuitive Flow Friday. The video that I posted, for whatever reason, doesn't have sound. So I woke up this morning and I found that out, and I was like, well, if you want something different, do something different. So I'm taking the time when I usually wouldn't make a video. I would be taking this time for myself. But today, because I usually take time for myself, I'm going to do something a little different. And I'm going to give you what my mind's got at 5 o'clock in the morning on an Intuitive Flow Friday. So, right now, this energy is catalyzing us for massive, massive change, massive abundance, massive healing, massive realignment within our lives. There are a lot of karmic cycles, there are a lot of soul tethers, there are a lot of quantum entanglements that are kind of coming undone and really releasing us into our own sovereignty. Um, it's Kit Kat wants to go outside, but it's cold. We'll let her out. Um, what was I saying? So yeah, this energy just, if you're sitting and you're watching this, you're probably walking down a path of waking people up, right? You're searching for your soul mission. You're maybe you're not searching. Maybe you do. Maybe you have an inkling of an idea of what you're supposed to be doing, but maybe you're not sure which direction to go in. Maybe you're not sure like who is really in your corner. Like for me personally, like my relationships are under evaluation, and kind of how not only am I interacting with them, but how are people around me interacting, right? Um, Something I've realized over the last year is that like I'd been doing a lot of healing for years, and the last year was like hell, almost. Like my car got repossessed. Like we moved up here to Maine, we're just trying to really figure things out, and it felt like at every turn things were going wrong. And even up to like right now, it almost feels like everything's going wrong, but at the same time, you know, it's not. And Jennifer over at Soul Moon Tarot, or Soul Moon Rising Tarot, um, she was talking about spiritual awakening. And I think a lot of the reason why my video didn't get uploaded with sound the other day is maybe because I need to speak about my own spiritual awakening. And I need to speak about some of the things that I've been through in that spiritual awakening. So maybe this Intuitive Flow Friday is just to kind of open that door for any of you that are venturing down this spiritual awakening pathway, right? You're ascending, you're awakening, you're starting to understand and understand around us. There's a lot of different things going on, and there are a lot of different avenues for these energies to get into our reality. And so, let's start. um, in 2014, I got out of the military. I was in the United States Marine Corps for 4 years. 4 years active duty, 4 years inactive duty. So in 2018 was my last contractual year. So I've been out of the military for 2 years now. Um, Before that, though, because really my spiritual awakening probably started when I was 18. I'm 28 now. When I was 18, I left to go to college. And I went to college for 1 semester. And while I was in college, I realized that school was not for me. I don't learn like the rest of the students. What I want to do, what I wanted to do was nursing, and what I still want to do is heal and help people. So I'm on that right path, but not for the man, and not in the way that they want. And I didn't want to become indebted to something. I realized that for some people, like that pathway is what's meant for them, but for me, that pathway was not meant. So after a semester, I went home. I joined the military. While I was I actually contacted the recruiter before I even got home. By the time I got home for winter break, yeah, I didn't go back after winter break. So I joined the military, and I left in when did did I leave? May 23rd. I just turned 19 and I joined the United States Marine Corps. And it was the best decision I could have ever made for my life because they gave me discipline, they gave me structure, they gave me willpower. They showed me that I had it in me. And that's why I joined the Marine Corps, is because they were the toughest. They had the most loyalty, the most camaraderie that I had seen within the structure of it. Now, obviously, this isn't the case. If you've been in the military, you know anything about the military. You kind of grasp that. You kind of grasp that maybe there's bigger things, bigger fish frying, right? And that's something that I realized while I was in the military, which is why I got out. Right before I got out, like that's when transgender issues started to arise. And I was overseas, deployed when I recognized that I was transgender, that like I wasn't like everyone else. Like, and I've kind of always known that. But it was having that solitude, 9 months away from everyone, to right my mind and get my center. So when I came home, I knew who I was, and I got out of the military, and I was blazing that path to helping people like myself, to healing myself, and to extending and putting myself in situations that were going to help me expand and help me grow. And along my spiritual awakening, right, along this path since I've been out, it's 2020 now, I got out in 2014, right? So along this, I both my car broke down. My wife was in an accident. You know, my electricity got cut off multiple times, and this was while I was working and going to school. Like I was working full time, going to school full time, making plenty of money to pay my bills, but I still wasn't able to do what I needed. Like I was still lost, and I was even with my wife, and it took me recognizing that my life needed to change, that I needed to do something different to change the way that things were going, right? I did the research and found out that plant-based eating was healthier for you. Plant-based eating is the medicine that you need to be taking for your body. You don't need a pill if you're eating right. I did that research. And, when it comes to healing my mind, right? I did what was right for me to heal my mind. For me, I was intuitively guided to attend a 7-week intensive PTSD program that uses cognitive behavioral therapy in grouped settings to help unfuck what's up here. Because if you're a child who's experienced a lot of things, like your whole life is going to be in disarray because you have no idea what it okay is. You just think you know what okay is because you see what is okay out there, but you don't really know because how do you know what they've been through? And that's something that I've really learned throughout my journey up to this point is we all have something somewhere that needs to be addressed. And that's what this video is about. It's like we all have a spiritual awakening, we all have an ascension, and we all have responsibilities to take within our own lives. All of us. There is no one person who's perfect. We all do things, we all say things, we all think things. We have all, we've all, I don't even want to say made mistakes, we've all learned somehow, some way. And what, I guess what I've seen like a common pattern is there are a lot of adults. Because I consider myself an adult, but at the same time, like, I see adults that are less adult than I am. I see children that are more adults than adults that I know. And this is something that I personally have dealt with my entire life is being an adult as a child. That's what our society teaches. They want 15, 16, 17-year-old children to be acting like 30, 40, 50-year-old people without having any of the inclination of their emotional balance or or the truth about what's really going on in the world. And it's just it's one of those like it's it's just one of those things where like when are we going to take responsibility for our lives. And I'm not, this isn't at anybody watching this video, like this is just the thoughts that are in my head at 5 o'clock in the morning. Like it's why like we point fingers everywhere in our lives where you make me feel this way and you make me feel this way and you make me feel this way. It's like, well, what's triggering you, right? If all of these things, if people's thoughts about you make you feel some type of way, maybe you should take responsibility for how you feel. And that's what our society is right now, is just a bunch of children who feel some type of way because someone else's opinion doesn't align with theirs. And then to go even further, we're allowing this to divide us because we all think differently. Aren't we supposed to think differently in this world? Isn't that what our society is about? Freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of who we are, freedom at all, period. Aren't we the land of the free? I don't feel very free as a trans person. I feel terrified sometimes to leave my house. And that's not, I don't allow it to terrify me, but I feel that feeling when I leave my house. Because like I made the video the other day about dysphoria, right? These are the tactics that they're using to to control us, to manipulate us, to move us about the reality how they want us to move. And I don't know about you, but I'm done being mentally controlled by things. I'm taking my own life back. I'm making my own decisions for myself. And I'm going to move forward how I need to with the guidance that I've always had my whole life. It's like I think I kind of got derailed there a little bit on the spiritual awakening. But yeah, like this life isn't easy. It is an experience. And it's a beautiful one if you allow it to be, no matter what happens. Like, to be honest with you, our car being repossessed is probably one of the most magical things in the fucking world that's ever happened to us, because think about all the money we don't have to pay now. Now, I know for some people that's not, you can't do that. You can't just get rid of your car. It's something that you have, like, you need. But the thing is, I've known that I wanted to get rid of the car for a really long time because I want to lessen my footprint on Earth. And so, like, I've reevaluated my whole life to take into consideration Mother Gaia, the other humans that are coming after me. Like, if even though I'm not having children, I have a 5-year-old niece. I have a 15-year-old brother. I have a 24-year-old sister. Like, those are the people who are coming after us. Those are the people that we have to think about in the decisions that we're making. Not just ourselves, but making the best decision for ourselves is making the best decision for the whole, because if we take care of ourselves, we become sovereign and we aren't dependent upon something else or someone else. And then we grow and then we expand and we become a unit. We become unified consciousness, beauty, a symphony, if you will. And we move in harmony. Something that's been coming up a lot for me is Lemuria, or Lemuria, depending on how you pronounce it. And in Lemuria, there are days of simplicity, days of hard work, but days of life consciously experiencing itself infinitely. Not searching for something, not seeking, not longing, not wondering if this is what I'm supposed to be doing. No, in Lemuria, it's peace, it's serene, it's home. Maybe Mother Gaia is trying to get back to that. Trying to shake off all of these things that don't belong anymore. We're meant to be loving, compassionate, open, vulnerable people, and there are that's kind of what we're up against right now. Energies trying to take that love, compassion, innocence, vulnerability away. Um, yeah. So yeah, stand up for science. It's a sticker over here. I think that's all I have for you guys. Uh, just kind of just a little bit of a flow. Let you know what's on my mind. I don't know why my other video didn't have sound, so figure it out later. I love you guys so much. Thank you for joining me. Maybe this got you thinking, right? Infinite love, infinite light, infinite movement. Namaste.